Tsunamis start with an earthquake. So an earthquake is when two tectonic plates, which had been stuck and stressing on each other, suddenly slip. When that happens, the earth shakes. And if this earthquake happens in the ocean, it would be like if you had a huge basin of water, a tub of water, and it's filled right up to the top, and you're carrying it and you trip. The earthquake shakes the whole basin, and you get this ripple because now the water is sloshing around. When it reaches a shoreline, the coast gets shallower and shallower, and all of this energy gets more and more compacted, and that's why the tsunami is so destructive on a shoreline. In the movies and TV and science fiction shows, they always make it look like this gigantic surfer wave, and it's not that at all. It's just this one wave, like a tide, and it comes in, and it never stops coming in. So it comes in and in and in, and it has so much energy in it that it can destroy buildings, it can move ships. You better get out of the way because it's not stopping. It has a lot of destructive energy in it. We can usually do a pretty good job of predicting where the tsunami is going to go so that we can give advance warning to people that it's on its way. Now, it's not perfect yet. There are some times where the tsunami shows up and it wasn't expected to show up there. But we're always getting better at being able to make a good prediction about when and where it's going to hit, and therefore people can be evacuated.
Those who are directly affected or those who could be directly affected by a tsunami are located in the tsunami warning zone. We will use the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami as an example. In 2004, there was a massive earthquake in Indonesia, with a black highlighted area on the screen for your reference. The tsunami warning zone was the massive red box there, also seen on the screen. And yes, the tsunami wave did actually reach all the way to South Africa, a span of over 3,000 miles. Now, not all tsunamis are the same, and they all depend on the level of water displacement. The Indonesian earthquake was a massive 9.1 magnitude quake, and that is why the resulting tsunami traveled such a great distance. The amount of force and water displacement directly varies with the size and range of a tsunami. Even if you are not hit with a devastating wave or storm surge, you can still be heavily affected by a tsunami. A great example of this is that children in Cambodia have been struggling with iodine deficiency. These problems were resolved due to a plant in Japan producing cheap iodine to be sprayed into salt to create the commonly consumed iodized salt, to level out the iodine levels in children, as iodine is not rich in the flooded soils of Cambodia. This is all described in an article. From 2000 to 2011, use of iodized salt rose to 70% from 13% of households, which means that iodized salt was consumed and made more available to help with iodine deficiency problems. The article continues and says, then, in 2011, after the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, the global price of iodine tripled. This is because the largest and cheapest producer of iodine was no longer in the market, meaning that the global demand for iodine was at an all-time high, allowing for other producers to increase their prices. Unfortunately, children over 1,000 miles away from the quake and tsunami were affected, and their lives were changed. Similar to the story of the children in Cambodia, another species is facing major health risks due to tsunamis. The Javan rhino is a critically endangered species that is nearing extinction. An article states that only 62 Javan rhinos remain in the wild. These few live in low-lying areas that could be inundated by a tsunami. If a massive tsunami were to hit the islands, which is not uncommon, this species could go extinct over 100 years before expected. Tsunamis are dangerous, tsunamis are devastating, and tsunamis can be created in a variety of ways. But earthquakes, volcanoes, and breaking off of ice glaciers are some of the most common. So don't worry, tsunamis are rare, and only 1 to 2 devastating tsunamis happen per year. So it's very unlikely that you'll be caught in their path.